Welcome to Talking Plant Protein. My guest today is founder and CEO of Newita's. Please welcome Dr. Nora Khaldhi.
Hi, nice to be here. Thank you.
So you are a scientist and a mathematician. You have affectionately called what you do data mining for molecules. Explain that.
Yeah, so it's funny, but as humans, despite all the technological capabilities that we have, we're not really using nature and food in general to its full potential. We know more about space exploration than we do know about what we eat every single day. And that's literally crazy. And I still don't understand that at all. In fact, more than that, not only do we know very little about what we eat, but we've really lost touch with nature and food in general. So, and this really has come as a consequence of the whole industrialization of food. For example, our ancestors used to use fermentation, bacterial fermentation, to enhance the properties of a product. For example, milk or kefir from milk, kombucha from tea, for example. These are fermentations that not only enhance the shelf life of the products, but they actually enhance the properties, the health beneficial properties of the products. So it's not just an extraction of a health benefit within the product. It literally is the same exact finished ingredients or finished, source material, but with added health benefits. And what Newita's is really doing, and what I as a scientist have done many years, is how can we access the potential of different foods around us and different source materials and different plants to really identify these incredible molecules that can improve human health or could replace active ingredients currently used in the food industry that are either synthetic or not performing in the right way.
And how are you hoping this reconnects us to the food we eat?
Yeah, so the question we asked our scientists at Newita's when we first started was, well, how can we use that ancient wisdom and that connection to food that our ancestors had with the latest technologies to make truly natural ingredients that are grass, are still the whole food ingredient, the whole food material itself, but that carry not only the nutritional benefit of the source material, but that carry also the health benefit of it. So more than just a nutritional benefit, you're carrying a very precise health benefit that can, promote certain aspects like improving your glucose management, or in general, improving your muscle, improving your energy, helping you to sleep, helping your immune system or boosting it, and so forth. And that's really the question we ask. Can we really fuse both together to take that ancient knowledge and mingle it with new technologies to really explore nature better and identify these molecules and bring them to market?
This is a hot conversation because the question on the table is moving from just nutritious to really optimizing health. And so what would you say to that as far as the technology leading us into optimal health and not just something that's going to nourish?
Yeah, because by fusing that ancient understanding of how you can access benefits in food that otherwise you lose. Because, for example, if you eat tea or drink it, you would get certain nutritional benefits and health benefits. But when you change it into kombucha, for example, you get a whole spectrum of new health benefits that you don't get in that source material originally. So the question here is, how can we use technology to access those in a more precise way? Because obviously our ancient ancestors did it, but did not do it in a precise way. So how can we access it in a more precise way, in a more targeted way, in a more personal way? Identifying the right plant with the right hidden benefits and targeting the right population with those benefits. And this literally is what we're doing here at Newita's. And what's interesting about this is that not only are we allowing new health benefits to appear, so identifying new health benefits are important, but also replacing things that are in the food industry that are currently harmful by more natural ingredients that perform in the same way And by doing that, we're adding, a whole new spectrum to sustainability itself. Because if you don't use a plant, for example, to its full potential, you're wasting it. And that's what these types of technologies are able to do. And that's what Newtas is doing.
You're going to be part of a panel discussion on leveraging AI to find new compounds and ingredients with Future Food Tech coming up September 30th and October 1st. What can we expect from that discussion?
I think it's important to mention that, bringing new technologies to an old area is always very challenging. You have the very old and very new, and it really is very challenging to marry them together and to actually create tangible products at the end. So, for example, at Newtas, we don't stop at just a prediction on the computer or saying, okay, well, this plant has these health benefits. I think the biggest challenge is, okay, how do we create these tangible products? So how do we go from a prediction on a computer to physically creating something that is tangible that a food company could use in its own products? That ingredients that not only are, health promoting, for example, but they also obey this industrialization requirement, which is taste and texture and so forth. And we've already launched 2 ingredients so far, and a lot of the products that would contain those ingredients will come on the shelves very soon. Fingers crossed, but very soon we'll see global launches of our ingredients within different products. We have an array of other ingredients that we're developing behind the scene, from gut microbiome modulation to immune modulation, sleep, and so forth. We've launched actually our own consumer product called Elio Restore on eliolife.com, which again is one of our ingredients, and we're just doing customer testing, and it's a pilot launch. So it's really going from taking ancient techniques, marrying them with technology, and really concretely creating tangible products that industries as a whole, from food, dietary supplement to personal care and so forth, can use on scale.
This is so exciting. The discovery has its own challenges and is innovation at work, but the scale up and distribution, I think that's really why people need to tune in to the panel for Future Food Tech, because you really give people hope that it is possible, and this is what's emerging in the industry for a sustainable future for all of us.
Absolutely.
Thank you, Dr. Khaldee. We appreciate your time.
Thank you.
الزلف اللون، مساء الخير عليكم. اليوم حنطرقوا باب من أبواب العلماء الجزائريين أو العالمات الجزائريات اللي كنتوا تسمعوها في حوار عن المكلة، عن العلاقة بين الصحة والمكلة تاع الناس. هذه العالمة هي العالمة الجزائرية نورة خالدي، اللي نزادت وتربات إلى سن 14 سنة في ولاية التبسة. بدأت المشوار تاعها في الجزائر، بالضبط في الاوراس في ولاية التبسة. تخصصت في الرياضيات والإعلام الآلي البيولوجي، ولكن أول مرة كانت تميل إلى الرياضيات لأنه أحبت هذه المادة واعتبرتها مادة جد ممتازة ومادة منطقية معقولة باش تكمل فيها وتدير فيها التخصص تاعها. إلا أنه الحاجة اللي شدت انتباه نورة أنها تحب البيولوجيا وكل ما يتعلق بالذكاء الاصطناعي. هذا ما خلاها تزاوج بين زوج تخصصين، ميدان البيولوجيا وميدان الرياضيات. هذا التزاوج خلق من نورة خالدي عالمة كبيرة في مجال البحث في الأمراض، وهذا اللي ما يدفعها باش تكمل المجهودات تاعها بعدما انتقلوا والديها إلى إيرلندا، واستقرت في دبلن في إيرلندا باش تولي عالمة كبيرة تحصلت على الدكتوراه في الإعلام في الرياضيات والإعلام الآلي في جامعة دبلن بإيرلندا، وهذا فتح لها المجال كبير باش تدخل الإعلام الآلي البيولوجي وتتعامل مع الشركات الغذائية الكبرى باش تكتشف نورة شيء خلى المجتمع العلمي يشيد بكل القدرات تاعها في ميدان البحث العلمي والبحث الصحي، حيث تحاول تلقى علاج أو دواء لداء السكري من الدرجة الثانية أو تيب 2 من خلال البحوث تاعها. يعني تحاول تتحكم في هذا المرض أو تعالجه نهائيا، وهذا ما سيكون في 2020 اللي أطلقت الدواء تاعها لعلاج والتحكم في مرض السكري من الدرجة الثانية أو تيب 2. في 2014 قبل 2020 نوليو شوية اللور، في 2014 أسست نورة البروفسور نورة خالدي شركة كانت مستوحاة من اسمها، سمتها نوراتيس أو نورة تاس، يعني اسمها مستوحاة من هذه الشركة، وأطلقت على هذه الشركة اسمها اللي خلاها تتحول إلى سيدة أعمال كبيرة بزاف في المجتمع الإيرلندي، ودعمها البنك المركزي الإيرلندي بحوالي يعني مبلغ كبير بزاف، حوالي 30 مليون دولار. هذا المبلغ لا يقدم هكذا فقط، يعني لازم تقدم شيء كبير بزاف باش المجتمع الإيرلندي يقدم لك هذا المبلغ الكبير. وتواصل نورة بروفيسور نورة خالدي إنجازاتها العلمية وتبحث في مجال الأغذية، مجال الأدوية، ومجالات عديدة كبيرة بزاف. هذا ما خلى المجتمع الإيرلندي العلمي وحتى المجتمع العالمي، لأن بعد ذلك ستحاضر في جامعة سان فرانسيسكو في كاليفورنيا هنا في الولايات المتحدة الأمريكية، ويحترمها كل المجتمع العلمي لما تقدمه من إنجازات علمية، وراهي ماضية في بحوثها العلمية المتطورة جدا. خلا كما قلنا المجتمع العلمي يقدم لها وسام شرفي تقديرا لإنجازاتها وعرفانا بما تقدمه، واعتبرها من بين 25 امرأة في العالم الرائدة في مجال الأعمال وفي مجال البحث العلمي. هي رمز للمرأة المناضلة، رمز للمرأة المكافحة اللي قدرت تزاوج بين تخصصين يعتبروا من أصعب التخصصات في مجال البحوث العلمية، وسميت عطولها لقب امرأة العقد. يعني شي شرف كبير لينا وللجزائر بصفة عامة وللمجلس العلمي العالمي ككل. دايما البروفيسور نورة خالدي تحظى بمقابلات كثيرة وأسئلة كثيرة لمجمعات علمية، وعندها أبحاث عديدة وكثيرة في أعرق المجلات العلمية المتخصصة في مجال البيولوجيا، في مجال الذكاء الاصطناعي، وفي مجال الطب والصيدلة. دوكا نخليكم مع لقاء العالمة تاعنا التي جمعت بين العلم، الخلق الطيب والكريم، العالي المستوى. ضف إلى ذلك أنها اعتبرت من جميلات العالم لما تحظى به من أناقة وجمال وأنوثة وكل صفات المرأة الجزائرية الأصيلة المأصلة. نخليكم في بعض تدخلات البروفسور نورة خالدي، تشرح فيها الكثير من على تخصصها، على أبحاثها، وهي ما زالت تقدم وتساهم في مجال البحث العلمي. نخليكم تسمعوا البروفسور نورة خالدي وكل التقدير والاحترام لها. تنمير تنقرانت.
Before I start, I just want to give you a little story when I first came to Trinity for my interview for my PhD. So I was living in France then, and I came over. I had a few interviews around Europe, and Trinity was the first one, and it was with a lab called the Kenwolf's lab in the genetics department. So I came over for the interview, and the minute I walked through Trinity, I just fell in love. And I fell in love with Trinity, and I fell in love with the lab. And I remember going home and saying to myself, you know what, I'm going to cancel all my other interviews, because whether the answer is yes or no, I don't care. I'll be back here. I want to work here. And literally I went home and cancelled all my other interviews. I hadn't gotten a yes then, because you have to wait a few days from the interview to the yes. But then I was very fortunate because the email came in and it was a yes. And I started the journey of my PhD. And I remember my boss telling me at that time, he said to me, you know, Nora, you'll be the only girl in the lab. It is an area called bioinformatics, which is computer science applied to biology. And also molecular evolution. So it was very, very theoretical. I dabbed in the blonde phase as well, as you can see in the picture. But it was an extraordinary journey that I had. And then the funny story as well is that we were the only lab in the world on top of a pub. So this really got a lot of attention, especially from the Americans. We literally had a door right into the pub. Now it was blocked, by the way, just to let you know. So we couldn't go down straight, but Kennedy's was literally our local as well. So it was a great lab, great learning, and I'll tell you a little bit more about it. After Trinity, I went after a lot of different areas, specifically drug discovery. And I created a company called Newitaas, and we're actually just a couple of 100 meters from Trinity, so which is really interesting. So I never really went that far from Trinity, and we started small, as you can see here, and then we went bigger. So we're about 60 people now. We're based on Dawson Street. We're a biotech company. And what we do, just to give you a little bit of background, is that when I first started working in this field, from my PhD into my postdoc and then working with the US, Ireland and the US, I realized that there was a very big issue in the industry. The industry of creating drugs was taking too long. It takes about 15 to 20 years. The cost is gigantic, about 2.5 billion to create a drug. And when I started analyzing the reasons behind that, is it normal? Is that the cost and we just accept the norm? Or can we change it? I realized that the issues are enormous. It literally is random testing. So you try and find something that works. You try and find a molecule that shows you what you want to see. But then as you develop the drug, you realize that it's maybe not stable, that it's not safe, and then you have to start again. And you go for years and you start again. And that's super expensive. So coming from my own background, a data perspective background, because my background is pure mathematics and computational biology, the question was, can we actually solve this? Can we implement computer programs that can actually look at a drug at the very beginning and see whether it has the capability of being stable, of being safe, of being scalable, and all those different issues as you grow and you develop a drug. But doing that at the very beginning on computers before you actually venture into the lab, because labs are very, very expensive. And that's really what we've done. So we've brought together at Newitaas 3 different technologies: proteomics or peptidomics in this specific area, machine learning, and life science in general, lab testing. We have great labs in the city centre, and we brought those things together to address that issue of drug development. Drugs take too long. How can we actually create drugs faster? But then what's interesting coming to this talk was, okay, what drove me here? What got me here? How did I create Noritas? Why me? And how do we create the next generation entrepreneurs? And it's funny to think about that, because I'm always thinking about these things, because I always get, students or high school students or undergrads asking me, what is the secret recipe? So I can't talk about character and I can't talk about genetics of myself. That's separate. But what are the external factors that actually help me as an individual?